Hi, I'm Sorrowx, and welcome to Nothing Bad to Say. Today, I'll be talking about Hollow Knight, a Metroidvania style game. In these reviews, I will cover 5 things: gameplay, art style, music, enjoyability, and story, or the game's method of reviewing. Pretty clever. Let's jump right in. Firstly, gameplay. Me personally, I prefer playing these kinds of games on a controller, and I love the way it plays. Movement is freeing, fluid, and something else starting with that. Very early in the game, you get the dash, which resets whenever you hit the ground or bounce off of something with your sword, which is a good way to introduce the parry system, which gets used unsurprisingly for puzzles or moving across bodies of water. Movement is such a big part of Hollow Knight. From dashing, wall jumping, double jumping, the movement is optimized and feels really comfortable to do. The best way I can describe the combat is rhythmic. Your attacks have a rhythm to them. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They counter the ability to mash attack with the fact that you move back. This makes for a combat that feels heavy, where you feel each swing of your nail. That brings us to the next customization of the game: charms. Charms are something that you acquire throughout the game that will enhance certain abilities or health, and sometimes even create a friend for you. These have a cost though: charm notches. You can't have all of them equipped because it would cost too many notches. This creates a nice balance between being very powerful using magic abilities or dealing physical damage. There is a neat mechanic that allows you to become overcharmed, which means you force the charm to go into a slot that doesn't fit. This means you get the ability of the charm, but in exchange, you take double damage. For someone like me who takes stupid, unintentional damage, being overcharmed never spoke out to me, especially if you don't know the patterns or timings. This brings us to the boss battles, my favourite part of this game. Each battle is unique and offers up another trial to show off your skill, whether it's dodging attacks, platforming, fighting multiple enemies, or fighting off additional enemies. This game has everything. It has the easy to learn, hard to master style of gameplay. It's the perfect balance. Then, once you beat them, certain bosses you can fight the dream version of. This is the last part of the gameplay we're going to talk about: the dream nail. This allows you to enter the dreams of NPCs or bosses. NPCs will have something to add to the story, and bosses will allow you to fight a stronger dream version of them. The cool part of this is when you die, because you probably will. You wake up, you don't lose anything for it. This allows you to redo the fight numerous times, which all I can say is, more boss fights, the better. That's why I'm such a fan of the God Home. A boss rush. Couldn't ask for more. Now, onto the art of the game. To say the least, this game is beautiful. Team Cherry did an amazing job. The world in which you play in consists of bugs, or bug-like creatures, each one drawn in a very adorable and yet intimidating art style. The atmosphere is dark and welcoming, with nice breaks of white radiance. See what I did there? Well, you will. And lush green areas of serenity. Each area is a vastly differing plane. A mine lit by crystals and lamps, a beehive, the void, you know, the usual stuff. I kid, but only because this game has everything. An arena in which bodies fall into the ground underneath, a city that is constantly raining because there is a pool of water directly above it, a dead Goliath that is decomposing and making it rain ash. These areas each display a special style and dedication. So as you traverse these places, you get a good feeling for what this Hollow Nest is. It's its own living, breathing ecosphere. We move on to the collectible in the game, and I left it for the art portion because it's an adorable art style. These caterpillars have been trapped in jars throughout the world, and breaking them out grants you a very cute animation. But this is where I must emphasize the gorgeousness of the art style. Everything is fluid and feels so natural. From these moving death grubs to the animation and boss fights, nothing was overlooked in this beautiful environment. Possibly my favourite part of this game, the music. Christopher Larkin creates a musical masterpiece in Hollow Knight. Every area has a piece of music that makes it stand out, from its beautiful light areas like Green Path, with the relaxing music to go with it, to the intense fights, It's truly wonderful to listen to. The boss music though, is where I must make my stand. I cannot stress this enough. I loved it. The intense melodies to The Calm Before the Storm. This is where I fell in love with this game. After trying to beat the bosses again and again, I ended up learning the music and humming it as I fought them. It really makes me connect to the game on another level. Let's take the Mantis Lords for example. The perfect fight, I feel. Hard for beginner, but very fun to fight over and over again. This music is what I use to introduce everyone to the game. It's an amazing piece that only gets better the more you listen to it. I actually don't have much more to say, except if you've not had the opportunity to listen to it, I cannot recommend it enough. Enjoyability. I played this game originally on the Switch, looking for a game to pass the time during the cold winter nights. I stumbled across this and watched a reviewer praise it, so I decided I'd take the leap of faith and try it. Best $15 I've spent. Really. The first time through took me 47 hours, and I'd completed 87% of the game. I was wondering how much more there could be, but didn't want to play through it again just yet. Near 12 months later, I bought it on my PC and played it through again, and damn if I didn't spend another 40 hours on it. This time, getting 106%. Feeling proud of myself, I stopped there, waiting until the Godhome DLC, in which I could play through again, and spending hours upon hours grinding this boss rush, until finally, I couldn't get any further. Another 50 to 60 hours on this, and I was still enjoying it. Now you could say 130 to 140 hours isn't much. I had more time on that with some of my WoW characters I didn't really play. But that's my point, I didn't get sick of it. Starting from scratch was a breath of fresh air. Now knowing a bit more than what I did previously, I ventured forth into the known world to see how far I could get, and enjoying every death, every loss of Geo, every time I got lost in Deep Nest, every death to the Watcher Knights. I endured it, because the game has such a rich world building that sucked me in every time. The story of Hollow Knight is an amazing one. In short, you play as the knight, who feels a need to come back to where they were from. Upon reaching Hallownest, they are encountered by Hornet, who teaches the knight about the Black Egg and what is sealed in there. With the need to fix this, the knight goes out to awaken the Dreamers in order to open up the temple to stop the infection of Hallownest. There is so much more to this: the Pale King, the White Queen, the Vessels, the Grim Truth. This game is rich with lore hidden in plain sight. With just a glimpse into what Hollow Knight is about, you can understand why so many people have gotten sucked into the world of Hallownest. As a final word, I must say that Hollow Knight is my favourite game of all time. It has been super easy to talk about, and know that I have nothing bad to say. I also stream over at twitch.tv/Sorrowx. Come and say hi. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.